Alright, so Global just got True Awakening, so I'm just gonna basically talk about who should work on that first. Similar to before, who to Super Awaken first, who to level up first. There are characters you you better be working on first, rather than just doing them randomly, of course. And it's pretty simple. I mean, this time around, it's like every single character in the game has this True Awakening now. And if I open a character that don't have True Awaken, all it does is give 10% damage reduction and 1000 CC. So, yeah, it's not that big of a deal, especially once everyone has it. But if you don't have anybody True Awaken and you face a full team of True Awaken enemies, you're gonna be at a massive disadvantage. So, who should work on first? It's pretty simple. You can see by the list of characters I worked on first. Obviously, Hell was just for a video. But basically, you're gonna work on your main PvP team. Why that? Well, PvE, there's nothing in the game that expects you to have it, but if you want to work on your, snake team after, that's fine. But for PvP, you're gonna start facing people that have True Awakening, so you want to be on the same ground as them, right? As you can see by my PvP team here, I forgot to change. As you can see with my full Sins team, everybody's True Awakened. But if I move over to my Demon team here, which by the way is the team that Melly seems to be best on, only Melly is True Awakened because of the way the materials drop. I can now actually True Awaken the other demons as well. If you're gonna True Awaken demons, my recommendation is to go first for Estarossa. I'm gonna do that right now. The reason for that is mainly because he's your weakest character, as in he's the one that can die the easiest, right? If you're up against other Mellies, Melly can just one-shot him with like a level 1 single target. You gotta make sure that he isn't just getting one-shotted, and he's not gonna be the one with Tarmiel Link. DK is gonna be the one with Tarmiel Link as well. You ideally would have a better chance at winning if you give Estarossa the 10% damage reduction over Melly even though Melly is the new shiny toy, Melly is a fairly tanky character on his own, so he doesn't need True Awakening. I gave him first for the video, but he doesn't need it, right? I would go over what's your PvP team and give the damage reduction to the characters that need it first. If you're gonna be running Goddesses, for example, let me swap it real quick, which is still a fairly runnable team right now, I would say maybe given Margaret the True Awakening might be your best bet, because she is the one that's going to be taking the most damage. She's the one, if you notice playing Goddesses, she's the one people go for first. She's the easiest to kill because Liz has Tarmiel Link and Mael is just ultra tanky. So giving to Margaret makes more sense than like me. I gave it for the video, I gave it to Liz first. But in all honesty, giving to Margaret makes more sense. And so on and so forth. That works for pretty much as a rule for every single team in the game. Whatever team you're currently running, just make sure to give it first to the one that needs it most, especially if it's a mono race team, because man, farming these materials, which by the way, I made a video on how to farm the stage. I'll make more videos on like more free-to-play teams and stuff like that, as more people find good teams for it, but the way the materials drop is race divided, and working on a full mono race team is going to take long. Like here, I have like no demon mats now, no unknown mats, and I have decent goddesses, barely any humans, some fairy, almost enough for a giant. Do I want to keep working on more fairies or more giants? No, not really. I worked on one giant, the end, one fairy, and that's it, really. Like, there's nothing else here for me to work on. But if you want to keep giving it to them, sure. I would say because of the rest of the cost, like for example, I have materials to work on more fairies. Will I give any more fairies True Awakening? No. I don't use any other fairies. And even if you have the materials, like for example, to work on like this Elaine is not bad. This costs LR coins. I'm not gonna run the risk of having under 100 LR coins ready for the new LR, right? So think about that, you know? It's not just about the new materials, the old materials, and the old material, like it's only DLR coins, but... And this thing also matters. This is SSR coins or SR coins. This is materials that you have and you're consuming for each individual character. It's not just infinitely farming this and then using it. Because also farming that costs coins as well. So there's a tight-knit amount of characters you want to be working on. And in my opinion, it's your PvP characters. If you run full demons and you don't want to run sins, right? Like sins is easier because it's all different raced characters. So it's easier to get them Ultra Awakened first. If you're just going to run through full demons, honestly don't even bother using any fairy materials or giant materials or human materials. Just farm the demons and give it to them. Each individual character, regardless of race, is gonna cost LR coins. Do you have enough LR coins? Then, you know, you True Awaken other characters if you want. If you want to True Awaken characters that are good, for example, for the new not demonic beast, for the new boss, then sure, but again, it's like the buff is not that significant. It's 10% damage reduction. It's not going to make it faster to farm. If you find that a character keeps dying, then okay, but I find that highly unlikely. I think PvP characters matter way more because if you have 10% damage reduction, the enemy doesn't, you have an advantage. If they do, you don't, you're a disadvantage. If you both do, it's neutral. There's no advantage or disadvantage. I would rather be neutral than being at a disadvantage. Towards any PvE content, there's no real point. So this ends up being a little more complex than the Super Awakening or Level Up, you know, debacle and what I recommend for those. But really, this is a little more complex because the materials. Yes, if you, for example, go on any new activity they're dropping, like this, you're gonna find LR coins on the rewards for it. In Labyrinth now, you can buy 50 LR coins, so make sure you do that. But even with those, it's like, it's not like it's infinite. And there's so many characters. So make sure to only do the characters you're going to be using in PvP. And if you want to trickle in some characters for Snake, because Snake does hit you very hard, right? If you want to trickle in your characters you use for your main team for this boss, then fine. But I would not suggest working on anybody else unless you have over 100 LR coins. Mainly, that's the criteria I'm looking at. Because you want to use your LR coins when a new LR comes out. That's when they're at most powerful. That's when you want to have them, right? So make sure of that. And that's pretty much my recommendation. I know I'm being less specific than usual, saying, oh yeah, this character above this character. But mainly this time around, it's very user-specific. And if you just go by my recommendations, you should be fine. Now, if you want to, any tips for farming the stage, again, the other video is more that fashion. And that's about it.